What is going on, guys? Chip here. Welcome back to another round from last weekend's Durham League Cup. This is going to be round number 5. These players are both 3-1, fighting to stay alive in the race for top 8 at this tournament. A win here puts them in a good position. A loss almost certainly would eliminate one of them. So definitely both players trying to get a win here if they can. On the left we have Jake Dudzik playing a Zoroark Gardevoir deck. A pretty cool deck we saw popularized after Tord won the Australian Internationals with it. And Cody Brown on the right is playing a very interesting Lapras GX Silvally deck. Really cool. Excited to see this deck in action and see how it functions and see kind of what makes it tick, see what makes it work. And we see Jake on the left starting off with a Ralts and Cody on the right starting with a Mewtwo from Evolutions. Not the best starter, I think, for either player. I don't know. I guess Jake is fine starting a Ralts. That might be better going second than starting a Zorua, honestly. But Cody probably did not want to start that Mewtwo if he didn't have to. It will be pretty decent, I guess, against a Gardevoir with a lot of energy on it if he has to take a 2-hit knockout on them later on in the game. But we're going to see him go ahead and get things going with a energy attachment to his Lapras, and then Tapu Lele is going to go ahead and find him a Cynthia. Ultra Ball also puts a Water Energy and another Ultra Ball in the discard pile, so he can use Aqua Patch later on with that Water Energy in the discard. And we see Max Elixir coming out, see if we can get an energy in play. No, unfortunately, looks like that was a miss. Definitely unfortunate. Feels bad whenever you miss these early game elixirs, but you know, sometimes your deck is just still so thick that it doesn't always go through. And we do see him play an Aqua Patch, getting 2 energies on that Lapras. If he had hit that elixir, that would have been a Lapras fully powered up on the very first turn of the game, but unfortunately he did not. And then he's going to go ahead and Cynthia, draw 6 cards. He's going to want to find a type null here if he can. Looks like that is what he just benched over there, so that is definitely nice. And over to Jake's turn. He gets things going really nicely with a turn 1 Bridget, exactly what you want to see with this deck. Gonna just go ahead and get a pair of Zoruas and another Ralts to go with the one that he has in the active position. And this is actually kind of like an interesting spot for Cody if this is the end of Jake's turn, because well, he's going to attach an energy and then looks like he is just going to pass. Cody can attack with Lapras, of course, but it's got 3 energies on it. It is in range of potentially being knocked out if Jake is able to pull off a Gardevoir play next turn. And it looks like Jake is kind of mapping his hand out. I think I see a Zoroark GX and an Ultra Ball, so he could get Mallow and get that in play next turn if he so chooses. But you also, like, if you're Cody, you don't really want to use Blizzard Burn to just knock out a Ralts, I feel like, because it does 160 damage. The massive drawback of you not being able to attack the next turn is also an issue. So it looks like he's just going to go ahead and get a Silvally in play after elixiring to the type null. And we may just see him still come in and use that attack and get the knockout here, which, I mean, like, it's better than not taking the knockout, but it just makes this turn feel kind of awkward to me. But I think he's, you know, doing what he needs to do. So he's going to go ahead and Ultra Ball away a Tapu Fini and a Water Energy. Maybe going to find another type null to get that prepped on the bench. No, actually just going to go ahead and get a Lele. Maybe opting to just hold it in the hand. I think he just wanted to thin his hand out this turn to draw a couple cards with Instruct. Looks like that is the case, and he's just going to go ahead and Blizzard Burn, take a knockout on the Ralts. And on to Jake's turn. We'll see what he's able to pull off with this turn. We do see an Ultra Ball coming out. We'll see what this goes for. Like I said, he could get off a Mallow play with a Tapu Lele. He did get the Lele. We'll see if he gets the if he does get the Mallow with this or not. So let's see. There's 3 energies on the active Lapras. There's 1 Fairy energy already on the Ralts. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12. 15, 18, 21. So he needs 3 more energies or 2 energies and a Choice Band in order to get the KO here. And it may be kind of hard for him to get that. He did get to Mallow for any 2 cards, but those are the only real cards that he has. And yeah, actually looks like he's just going to be content getting this Gardevoir GX into play. And is just going to go ahead and hit for 120 damage. And I think that is totally fine. We see Rescue Stretcher gets back Tapu Fini. And maybe you're going to see a Tapu Storm GX, shuffling that Gardevoir back into the deck. That would really, really slow Jake's game down a lot, I feel like, if Cody does decide to go that route, excuse me. Lapras does have free retreat thanks to that Turbo Drive ability over on Silvally GX. And looks like Tapu Storm is going to be coming out. Yeah, sure enough, shuffling in that Gardevoir, the Ralts, and the Energy, all of those cards in play, and really kind of setting Jake on the back foot. He may honestly, like, normally you only bridge it once a game, but I could totally see Jake having gone for Bridget this turn once again, getting, you know, a couple Zeroas and a Ralts back out into play, but no, just going to go ahead and opt for the in. You know, he's putting Cody down to 5, he's going to draw himself 6, and he's definitely going to want to try and find a couple of Ralts here if he can, maybe another Zorua. He does still have access to both of his trades, I believe. I don't think he's used any yet. We do see DCE in his hand, so he will still be able to attack this turn. And he's going to go ahead and trade away a Float Stone. See a Fairy Energy over there in his hand. Another Ultra Ball. Maybe that's a good trade target. But no, going to get rid of another Fairy Energy. And yeah, sure enough, just looks like he's going to go ahead and Riotous Beating, I believe, for... what's that, 110 damage, right? So we're going to see Guzma brings up Tapu Lele GX. If Cody can find a Choice Band, sure enough, there it is. This Tapu Lele is going to be going down pretty quickly here. Aqua Patch is going to put another energy in play. Looks like it's going onto the Feeny that is already damaged. So both of these Pokemon are damaged, which means that, you know, Jake will be able to clean up knockouts on both Lapras and Tapu Fini pretty easily later on in the game. But Cody's put himself out to a decent lead here. We'll see how Jake's able to respond and come back from this. If I remember right, there's 120 damage on the Lapras from the Gardevoir GX's Infinite Force, so Zoroark is already knocking out the active without any other aid or anything like that. And Jake sends up Ralts, which tells me he may be trying to get this stage 2 in play this turn, or he's going for a Guzma potentially. I'm not sure. He also is at a point in the game where he may want to... Well, I was going to say he may want to try and play around Rebel GX, but never mind. He actually... Cody is unable to use Rebel GX since he did already use Tapu Storm GX. So Jake's going to play Double Puzzle, going to get a Mallow and a Rare Candy, and we might actually just see a Gallade come into play as opposed to a Gardevoir GX. I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like he is going to go that route. Uses Gallade, going to go ahead and use Mallow as well, get whatever cards he wants in play, and, you know, he's taking a knockout here with a 150 HP, one prize Pokemon, and Cody doesn't have any way to really respond to this instantly. He can hit it with Mewtwo, but that's not going to be taking a knockout. He can hit it with Tapu Fini maybe for 120 and discard 2 energies, but then that just gets knocked out. Silvally could come up and attack, but it's not knocking out Gallade unless Cody gets a Psychic Memory attached to his Silvally, and Jake is just going to easily be able to return knockout the Silvally if Cody doesn't knock it out. So I think Jake is in a totally fine position here. We'll see what he gets off of this Mallow after he trades. I know he still has access to trade, so he's going to get rid of an Ultra Ball, going to go ahead and put a Ralts down. Premonition is going to see him the top 5 cards, let him rearrange them in any way that he likes. And he's going to get to take the knockout. Sensitive Blade does 60 damage plus 70 more damage if you played a supporter during your turn, and Jake did play the Mallow. That is a supporter card. 130 damage for a double colorless energy. Takes the knockout on that Lapras. Cody's going to go ahead and send up a Oranguru. Does have free retreat thanks to that Turbo Drive ability on Silvally GX. We see a Choice Band is going to get attached. I believe that is a Lele that he just attached to on his bench. Fire Memory, I think, going on to Oranguru. Not a card that's really useful in this matchup at all, but something he just doesn't want to draw, and, you know, Oranguru has free retreat. He just doesn't want to draw it, I'm sure. So Rescue Stretcher, looks like Cody is going to shuffle back a Lapras and a Tapu Lele, wanting to get both of those back into the deck. I think it might have been okay to just put a Lapras on the bench here, honestly, if he could power it up in one turn somehow. He would be able to knock it out, but no, it looks like he's just actually going to go ahead and bench another Type Null and go for a Sycamore after that. And let's see what he's able to do. He attached to the... I think, is that an Electric Memory? Maybe the Fighting Memory on the Silvally down there. If I was him, I definitely would have tried to find a Psychic Memory, but maybe he doesn't play Psychic Memory? I don't know, that would kind of surprise me because you know, you want a good way to deal with Buzzwole. But it looks like he did just go ahead and attack with Mewtwo. Did do 120 damage. And Jake's going to go ahead and get his turn going. Trades away a Max Potion. Definitely could have been a decent card, but actually does get the Guzma, brings up Silvally GX, and this is a huge play from Jake. Even though the Gallade will go down, he's getting 4 prizes out of this 1 prize Pokemon. That's an incredibly good value out of this Gallade, and I really like the position Jake is in from here. Cody took the early lead, but it just kind of seems like his deck has fizzled out at this point in the game. Jake is going to get another trade out. And Sensitive Blade comes in and knocks out Silvally GX. Jake is at 2 prizes remaining. Cody sends up his Mewtwo, and we're going to see what he can make happen here. Mewtwo will be able to knock out the Gallade because it's already been hit once. And if Cody can maybe get off a big N here and stick Jake with kind of a bad hand, which is what he is going for, it looks like. If he can do this, maybe this is his way to try to claw back into this game. Like the main thing here is that Lapras is the only thing on his bench that I think is a real threat to anything on Jake's side. But he needs to, he has no energies on it. He needs to find Aqua Patches, he needs to find Elixirs, and he has already played through several of those resources. So Cody is kind of just analyzing his options. Looks like he is going to go ahead and just take the KO. And there it is. Jake finds the Tapu Lele for the Guzma. Guzma's going to bring up that Tapu Fini on the bench and clean up the knockout over there. And that was a pretty fast game there, honestly. I feel like Jake was, even though he had a kind of slow start, was kind of in control the whole time. Jake did end up moving on to the top 8, so hopefully we'll see more from him later on in this tournament. We'll have round 6 coming out for you guys soon. Be sure to check that out. Check out the playlist of this tournament. And until next time, guys, take care.